Hi everybody and welcome to Barefoot TV and Podcast Show. I'm your host Leanne the Barefoot Medium. I'm an international medium who's blessed to act as the bridge between you and those who've passed over. I'm a twin flame who loves supporting others to step into conscious relationships and sacred union with self, partner and the divine, as well as embrace your sacred path to be of service to whatever it is that brings you joy. I bring together my spiritual gifts with spiritual practices from the indigenous Kogi people in Colombia and wisdom, knowledge that I've gathered throughout the years of life experience and 20 years of professional and spiritual expertise to support you to look into the mirror of your soul, to create powerful shifts, transformations, and changes so you can confidently manifest what it is your soul needs, wants, and desires. So welcome to today's show. Kick off your shoes, relax, and enjoy this month's episode where I am joined by Lauren from Etheric Tide to discuss divining for love using the tarot. Now, Lauren is a psychic medium and empath who's learnt to intuitively read the tarot, connect more deeply to her inner knowing, and develop her gifts so she can channel and pass on messages from spirit and past over loved ones, as well as guides. She believes the tarot is an incredibly versatile tool for helping you to activate your intuition and receive messages and guidance from those in the spirit world. Lauren loves sharing her knowledge around spirit and particularly the symbology of the tarot to support you in finding a deeper understanding and connection to yourself and to empower you to use your intuition to transform and grow. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thank you for having me.
That's all right. Now, today we're going to talk about using the tarot to divine for love, right?
Yes.
So talk to me first about intuition. What's the intuition and how do people work with that?
Well, when it comes to the tarot and using your intuition, it's where we're connecting to the part of ourselves that has the knowing already. So it's the part of ourselves that is connected to the divine, connected to source, and connected to our higher selves. And from their perspective, they can understand the situation a lot better than we can from our human perspective, let's say. So it's basically connecting into information that is going to be helpful for you to move through blocks within relationships or any part of your life, really.
Yeah. And so how do, just to put intuition into a little bit of a real world context, I guess,
Yeah.
how do we, how does the intuition work? How do we use it in our everyday lives and how can it guide us, I guess?
Yeah. So when it comes to connecting to our intuition in everyday life, it's where we're finding getting into our heart space, as we call it, getting within our body, getting present. And the way that we do that, and the way I do that really easily, is by connecting to our breath. And that immediately brings us within the present, within our body. And it means that we can listen to the subtle differences within our own body when we're picking up on things to guide us through life. And I interpret that as our intuition.
Yeah. And, intuition for me is, can come through so many different ways for people. So for those that are listening or watching this episode, your intuition can feel like a knowing, or it can feel like that gut feel where it's like, I just know something and something feels right and light and joyful and flowing, or, it brings you a sense of peace. or we can just, bring intuition in through our vision or our sound, and we just hear stuff that we're like, oh, I wonder where that comes from, right?
Yeah.
And so, each and every one of you all have intuition, and we can all connect to that and bring that in a lot stronger by, like you said, listening to our breath and connecting back to that. And I think a lot of people have so much to do that we often don't connect into that feel and take that time to connect with ourselves.
Yeah.
So talk to me now about tarot. How, what is the tarot and how does it work? And talk to me a bit about that.
Yeah, the tarot is another tool that someone can use in order to connect into their intuition, particularly if you feel that you're a person that is more clairvoyant, so you can connect with the visual, and it's a way to trigger that symbols, images, our understanding of different meanings behind the things that we're seeing in order to paint a picture, if you will, on some messages coming through for spirit. So it's basically a deck of cards that you'll get for people who aren't familiar with it at all.
You and I have done the same thing today. I brought mine, you brought yours. Awesome. Yeah.
And it's filled with different suits like you would with any cards. You have your swords, your wands, your cups, and your pentacles, and each one representing different aspects of life. And when we pull them out and connecting to our intuition with it, we can interpret different meanings based on the context of what's happening and also what you're feeling personally as the reader.
Yeah. And, the tarot's been around for centuries. It's, not new. And it's, something that, like you said, a tool that we can use to tap into our intuition. And for me, the tarot was how I started learning about connecting to spirit and connecting to my own intuition and my own knowing. And I think I bought my first deck at 13, and I sat and gave myself readings and guidance around all different things. So it's a fun thing to start learning about your intuition and giving yourself, even just time to come back to you each day, right? Yeah. So, you mentioned looking at the symbology and using it as a tool to receive guidance and insight. Can you give us a little bit of an idea of, maybe just showing a card or something like that about how that might work?
Sure. So the first step would be to get within that space of connected to intuition. So where you have that feeling of knowing and trusting what it is that you're receiving. And I really want to put emphasis on that trust. So when it comes to connecting to our intuition, it's important that we accept and not judge whatever it is that we get in from spirit. So there are different methodologies of way people wish to read, and just know that whatever feels right for you is right. So I tend to be much more intuitive when I'm doing it. I don't have any hard or fast rules about exactly what spreads I have or even what the meanings are. You usually develop your own personal dictionary of what the meanings are for you.
I think before you go on to that bit, I just want to pick up on that a little bit, because there are two different ways that we can learn to read the tarot.
Yeah.
And there's often a book that will come with whatever tarot deck you buy, or even an oracle deck. and there is a difference. You know, we can read and learn and memorize the meaning for a card from a book, or we can read the card intuitively. And so, you know, for those listening and watching today, what Lauren's talking about is learning to read the tarot intuitively, which means we don't look at a book at all, and we just allow spirit guides, intuition to bring through that knowledge and information through the card rather than through someone else's knowing in a book. And that's okay too for those that are learning. Sorry, keep going with that.
Okay. So we would connect with our card, get in card deck, get into our heart space, and we would generally I would just start shuffling, and generally you'd be able to feel when it's right. Sometimes it may pop itself out like this, and sometimes you may feel the right time, what's the right card. And we would look at it in this one, it's the Eight of Cups, and what we would do is we can contact all of the different ways in which we connect to our own intuition. It could be feel, it could be a sound, it could be just through the image itself. And no right or wrong answers here. So it's connecting in with the card itself. You may be attracted to something specific, and you may apply a particular meaning to that symbol. For example, we have a man who is walking away, and that might be what I've connected with and what I would like to apply in this particular reading. So it feels as though you're walking away from something now, and then there might be something else, like maybe it's the yellow within the moon itself, and yellow, I'm going to intuitively go to my solar plexus, which is our connection to self, as in it feels like you're walking away from a part of yourself. And do you see how just by connecting in and flowing with my own intuition and how I'm interpreting different aspects of the card, it's painting a picture of what the message is.
Yeah, and I think it's really important for people to know that, you know, your eyes, which is your clairvoyance, spirit, your intuition, your guides will draw your eyes to whatever it is in a tarot card that you're being asked to look at for a reason. And so that's exactly what you did with that card, with, you know, looking at the man walking away, you know, and what I want to say to people is that card can mean so many different things in different contexts for different people and at different times. So that reading that you just gave of that card, walking away from aspects of yourself, is just a story that you piece together based on the energies that are present in this moment, right? And so tomorrow, if you drew that same card, it might be a completely different meaning.
Exactly.
So it's really awesome that, you know, we can just be able to use our intuition to look at that. And Lauren, if I can just get you to hold that card up again. And so, you know, for those watching or listening, I'm being drawn to the mountain behind him. I'm being drawn to the two cups on one side and the one on the other. And so what I would intuit from that is that there's been a male in your life who has been climbing mountains, like it feels like a struggle or a, you know, trying to get to the top of something, and it's been a bit of a struggle. The moon's showing me a bit of a happy face, and I'm going, it's okay, it's going to be good, it's going to be happy change, the struggle's going to end. And then I'm looking at the two on one side, which is the feminine. So there's two females on one side that are supporting and helping and uplifting. And then there's someone else on the other side of things that's really not encouraging and not supporting. So I'd want to walk away from that.
Yeah.
And if we're bringing relationships into that, you'd go, okay, this is around a relationship with a male.
Yeah.
So, I just kind of wanted to give people that's the exact same card, and Lauren and I are connecting into it completely differently.
Yeah.
So, what else would you share about how can we get intuition or guidance or insight for relationships? Because we're talking about divining for love, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about that.
So I find that the tarot in particular, particularly with the types of cards that are in it, they are very geared towards love and relationships. I feel like the symbology in them is very clear, especially if you are starting out for the first time. When it comes to love, they're beautiful for that. They're a great way to provide clarity, guidance, understanding about like your current love and relationships, past love and relationships. They highlight a lot of the energies that may be blocking you or require some of your attention to like transform those connections. And I'm not just talking about with other people, I'm talking about transforming that love relationship connection with self. And I feel like that's where it starts. And I think that they just highlight some of the things that need your attention in order to let go of maybe some patterns of behavior and belief systems around love, and make you more aware of them in order to work with them. And then just like invite like more meaningful, joyful, strong connections that are really geared towards growth.
Yeah. So, if we were to use the tarot for, transforming or overcoming obstacles, beliefs, patterns, whatever that might be, can I, just so that people get an idea of how that might work, can I get you to draw another card and just give a little bit of an idea about what might come out of a card around transforming that kind of thing?
Yeah. So we would, again, connect back into that heart space and feel when we've selected the correct card. And we've got ourselves the Chariot here, which actually is quite a transformative card when we have a little think about it. So for the people at home, if you'd like to have a good look at the card, you can see that we've got someone sitting in a chariot. We've got I think there's sphinxes in the front here. One is white, one is black, and we're moving forward. So for me, when I connect in with the chariot, specifically when we're talking about transforming, for me, it's kind of like we're in the driver's seat in particular. And I'm just reminded of this learning. It's actually a learning that you gave me around when we're traveling in the bus, and what role are we playing and what role are we allowing other people to play. And if we relate this back to relationships, are we allowing other people to play a bigger role in deciding what we do in relationships? And is that a pattern of ours that we give away our power to others when it comes to decisions within relationships?
Yeah. And I think that's really important to, share with people, because our energy that we bring, like we bring ourselves to relationships, to every relationship that we have, whether it's with partner, family, friends, clients, colleagues, whoever it might be, and to the world as a whole. And so, I think it's really important that we look at what are we bringing to those relationships. Yeah. And the tarot provides a really amazing tool to be able to get some guidance on that. And I think what we're trying to show everyone today is that we can set an intention about what type of information we want.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of people go, what do I need to know today?
Yeah.
That's an intention as well. And we can, draw a card around that. And if I was to do that for everybody who's watching or listening, I've kind of drawn the Two of Cups card, which is
Perfect.
a beautiful card about connection. And I'm looking at these two beautiful people that are standing in front of each other, and it's almost like making a commitment and coming together in union,
Yeah.
the feminine, the masculine, and that it's divinely guided.
Yeah.
Right? And so, things are looking up and they're balanced and it's moving forward. So, what do I need to know today is that all is well. Everything is connected. Everything is in balance. Everything is in union. And so, setting powerful intentions when we look at the cards is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, because the intention or the context, if you will, of what it is that you're wanting to receive will influence what the meaning behind the card is and what is going to be important to focus on within the symbology of the card.
Yeah. And you briefly mentioned about tarot spreads. Can you explain a little bit about what that means?
So again, this is about setting intention. And for me, a spread is like a very clear intention of what card in what position means a certain thing, as in this specific card in that specific position could represent the self, or it could represent the past. So it's placing a context or intention on a placement of the card, and for that it actually helps you to understand how the story is playing out and how the cards relate to one another as well.
And we can often do a card like, the traditional 3-card tarot spread, right? And it just means card 1 represents this energy, card 2 is this energy, card 3 is this. So traditionally people might do past, present, future.
Yeah.
Or you could do current situation, obstacles, and opportunities.
Yeah.
Or ways to move forward. So I think it's really important for people to know that there's so many different ways to work with the tarot.
Yeah.
And particularly around love and relationships, that tends to be the topic areas that most psychics and mediums and get from people. Where am I at with this? And, so I guess what I would ask you is, what would you like people to know about using the tarot to divine for love? What's one tip that you would give them?
I feel like, especially when we're reading for self, we can want a particular outcome from the cards. And we may even influence it to force it to mean something in order to get what we currently feel that we want. I think when it's really important, whether you're getting read by someone else or even reading for yourself, to be open to the message as it comes in for your highest good, rather than particularly if we're wanting someone specific or we're focused on one particular someone outside ourselves or relationship, we may really want that to go well, so much that we're focused on that we're not focused on the part that really needs our attention in order for that to actually come to fruition. We're blocking ourselves.
Yeah. And I think, reminding people that the tarot is just a tool that tells you what the current energies are.
Yeah.
and what the current influences are on the energy or the situation or the relationship, if that's what you're asking about, and what the possibilities are for tomorrow. And I think that's, really important to get across to people that no one can predict the future. No psychic, no medium. We can let you know what the energies in this present moment are suggesting that you might create or manifest, or what the outcome might be. You have free will choice to be able to make a decision about whether that's the track you want to go down or not. So, that's where it gives guidance and insight for you to then be able to make a decision or choice about what next, and how do I change my energy or the energy around me or the energy within this relationship, which is what the transformational stuff is all about, really, isn't it?
Yeah. And it means that you're self-empowered to understand what's happening to you, and then have the power to make the changes necessary to bring in the life that you want to see. Yeah,
beautiful. So Lauren is going to be starting to teach the tarot soon. So those of you who are interested in learning more about how to connect with the tarot intuitively, whether it's around love, relationships, or any other part of your life, then please do connect with Lauren and keep an eye out on her website and Facebook page, which she'll share in a minute, for details about when that course is starting. So, Lauren, can you share with everybody where they can connect with you if they'd like to learn more, or
Okay, so you can go to my website, www.etherictide.com, or you can go to my Facebook page as well. So at Etheric Tide with Lauren, Psychic and Medium. You just put in Etheric Tide, you'll probably find me. And I do also have a YouTube channel as well, where I do monthly tarot videos and weekly picker cards as well, and just a general weekly guidance. So
great. Thank you so much, and thank you for joining me today on the show and sharing a little bit more of your knowledge and your wisdom around using the tarot to get that intuitive information to support you or support people in their everyday lives.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. For those of you who are interested in connecting with me further, whether it's through readings, coaching, or webinars and events, then jump on my website, thebarefootmedium.com.au, or you can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube and SoundCloud through The Barefoot Medium or Leanne The Barefoot Medium. If you've enjoyed this episode, we would absolutely love for you to support the show by subscribing to the YouTube channel and following us on SoundCloud, leaving a comment to let us know what you found valuable and how this episode has helped you in your everyday life. I'm Leanne, the Barefoot Medium. It's been a pleasure having you join me and to provide you with wisdom for your journey, clarity on your path, and to support you in manifesting your dreams. Wherever you are in the world, I wish you a connected month, from a loving and joyful space, and whoever you're with, please move forward with the knowing that you are always connected to you and to those around you that you love. Thank you again for joining me on Barefoot TV and Podcast Show, and I look forward to seeing you next month.